Hello and welcome back to this channel. So the hectic week that I spoke about in the last video has finally come to an end, and now we can resume normal activities. A while ago, we began a series intended to answer the question, when will I receive my interview notification, or when will my interview be conducted? And so we are now going to continue that series. Now, for those of you who have not been following, we said that when it comes to answering the question, when will I receive my interview notification, or when will my interview be conducted, you cannot obtain a straightforward answer to that question in today's diversity visa program, as opposed to what used to happen a few years ago. We said that prior to COVID-19, when you ask that question, you could get a direct answer. But since COVID-19, things have changed. And we cited two reasons why things are no longer as they used to be before COVID-19. The first one being the replacement of the regional queue system by the embassy queue system as a result of the State Department's decision to leave things at the discretion of each embassy to decide how they go about conducting visa interviews. And the second reason that we cited for the change in the response to this question was a major retirement that occurred in the visa office. And that retirement caused the pattern that had been established when it comes to the determination of the cutoff numbers on a monthly basis to be seriously affected. Those are the two reasons that we indicated were at the origin of the change in response when it comes to answering the question, when will I receive my interview notification, or when will my interview be conducted? I also indicated that those two events that I just spoke about led to the introduction of new factors in the diversity visa program that now directly affect when you are supposed to receive your interview notification. So in today's video, we will begin considering those factors, those new factors that now come into play when it comes to answering the question, when you are supposed to receive your interview notification. There are several of them. Because of time, we will not address all of them in today's video. We are going to consider just the first one that you saw on the cover of this video. That is, when did you submit your DS-260? Now, a past perspective before we consider how that happens in today's diversity visa program. In the past, when you submitted your DS-260 was actually not an issue, with the exception of the final quarter in the fiscal year. You could submit your DS-260 at any time and still be scheduled for interview. Remember the three conditions that are listed in order for your interview to be scheduled in the past. We spoke about the submission of your DS-260. We spoke about that DS-260 or those DS-260s being processed, and finally we spoke about your case number becoming current. We did not speak about when your DS-260 was supposed to be submitted. That was not an issue in the past. When the diversity visa results were released in the past, you could go ahead and submit your DS-260. You could also wait for a couple of months, say perhaps around July or August, and submit your DS-260. You could wait for later in the year, November, December, submit your DS-260. DS-260s were submitted up to even more than a year after the results were released. So DS-260s were submitted in some cases as late as the month of June the following year. That is, more than 1 year after the diversity visa results were released. And those cases, once they met the conditions that I just listed, they were scheduled for interview. That was how it was done in the past. In today's diversity visa program, it is different. And that is why in today's diversity visa program, applicants can no longer deliberately delay the scheduling of their interviews. Now, what am I talking about? In the past, before COVID-19, an applicant, for one reason or the other, could decide to delay their diversity visa interview simply by not submitting their DS-260 soon enough. Let me give you this example. If an applicant had a low case number, submitting his DS-260 would mean that his interview would have been scheduled soon in the fiscal year. But in case, for example, he had some activity that he would have loved to conclude before immigrating to the United States, he could decide, having a low case number, to suspend the submission of his DS-260, and that would have prevented him from being scheduled for interview until whenever he completed what he had to do. Then he went about submitting his DS-260, and immediately after, because of his low case number, such an applicant was automatically scheduled for interview. That is how applicants used to deliberately delay the scheduling of their interviews before COVID-19. In today's diversity visa program, that is no longer possible. If you decide to deliberately delay the scheduling of your interviews, at the end of the day, you could be unfortunate and that interview may not be scheduled at all. In today's diversity visa program, the earlier you submit your DS-260, the better it is when it comes to when you are supposed to receive your interview notification. And so that is the first factor we are considering. When did you submit your DS-260? Now, this being a new factor does not change the fact that your case number has to be current. It has to be below the cutoff number that has been established for the month concerned still, in order for your interview to be scheduled. That doesn't change that reality. But in addition to that, you have to submit your DS-260 soon enough in order for that DS-260 or your case to be considered for interview. That's a new reality in today's diversity visa program. So in short, when you submit your DS-260 in today's diversity visa program is one of the new factors that now affect when you will be scheduled for interview. So if you are watching this video and so far as a DV 2025 applicant, you have not submitted your DS-260, then it is slowly getting late. You must go ahead and submit your DS-260 as soon as possible so that it will go through all of the processes involved and allow your interview to be scheduled before it gets too late. So that's the first factor that we have covered in this video. In the next video in this series, we will consider another factor that now influences when you are supposed to be scheduled for interview in today's diversity visa program. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching it. See you, God willing, in the next one. Goodbye.